I ain't gonna lie, going to high school with white kids, that's how I got into drugs and all of that. I smoked my first blunt up there. I did my first shroom up there.
Damn.
Yeah, bonfires and all of that.
So how did this happen? You like, okay, what y'all doing tonight? What y'all getting into tonight? You like, okay, we gonna do this, yada yada yada. You like, okay, cool.
They were inviting me for a long time. Like, yo, you want to come to this bonfire, dude? Like, it's gonna be great. Like, it's so cool. And I'm like,
Totally,
okay, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. I see what a bonfire, because I'm from Baltimore.
Right.
Ain't no bonfires down. You say a fire is somebody's house. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's not a bonfire. So I go. And I see them rolling up weed. I'm like, all right. I'd never smoked weed, tried weed in my life until 10th grade in high school. I'm like, let me see. I'm like, what y'all put in it? Because I know white people lace their stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me see. Because, I see little substances being poured on top of the blunt. Poured in it. And I'm like, give me a regular blunt. I hit it. It's cool. I'm hungry. I'm feeling a little funny,
Right.
And so I start telling jokes and stuff. But then I see people are tripping off of other things. Right. And I'm like, what's that? Oh, yeah, well, that person, Carlos had just had some acid over there. I'm like, yeah, I
don't want that.
I don't want that. Nah. Yeah. Then, you got pills over here. I'm telling you, right. These kids had everything except for their parents there all the time. That's what set them aside from me. That's when I started connecting with my friends on a different level, because they would see how my parents were there. Mm-hmm. They would come home every night. They would tell me they love me. They would tell me, because I would have my friends over too. Right. And I remember one of my friends saying, her name's Talia, she's like, you and your mom tell each other that you love each other like all the time. I'm like, yeah. You and your mom don't? She's like, no, not really. Like, I don't really see my mom. And that was the case for a lot of them. Mm-hmm. A lot of their parents, they own big corporations and work for big companies. They traveled all the time. Mm-hmm. They would just get them kids money, and that's how they would get into drugs. And everybody had a car and everything, but they would get into drugs. And they didn't really feel that love that they saw between my parents and I. Right. So I connected with them.
So you think they had So would you have tried let's just say for the sake of argument, you stayed in Baltimore public schools. Mm-hmm. Do you believe you would have tried drugs and would have experimented like you did?
I definitely would have tried weed. I mean, my big brother smoked weed, and he started smoking weed when he was maybe 12 years old. And yeah, so I would have tried that, but I probably wouldn't have got on the shrooms. I probably wouldn't have started with psychedelics at all. But yeah, I do psychedelics for something different though. I do it for clarity.